My friends, before we get started here, I just want to remind you to check out the Into Thin Air News Instagram page at Into Thin Air News, as well as our Twitter handle at Into Thin Air. All right, everybody, and a quick disclaimer. Some of you may have seen a little bit of this content in the past. The reason I'm reposting this is because for some reason, YouTube has decided to really bury this topic in the algorithm. And because of that, I ask for your help. Please share this content on your different social media platforms. Feel free to remix the video and let me know your thoughts about these discoveries found in Antarctica. Welcome back, my friends. Today, we are going back to Antarctica. If you remember, 6 months ago and 4 months ago, we presented two discoveries on the continent of Antarctica that have never been seen before on the internet. Some of you may remember seeing these two clips, but as I said back then, I wanted to combine them both into one video so it was easier for people to have the information all culminated together. So for those of you that have seen these clips, I apologize, but I feel that it's very important that we start combining this information to make it easier for people to find. These are just two of the main discoveries I have found myself on Antarctica, and in the coming weeks, I will be releasing many more of them. The coordinates for both of these locations will be in the description box. Enjoy. We're going to be taking a trip to Antarctica today, and for a very good reason. I don't know about you, but Antarctica holds some of the craziest mysteries and secrets that have piqued my interest since I was a little kid. And then becoming a YouTuber and a content creator, naturally I study Antarctica, just like many other people do. And over the years, we've had opportunities to see discoveries that have been made that really blow your mind. In fact, just a simple Google search will show you that there are many channels out there that literally dedicate all their time to just searching for things on the continent of Antarctica. So I may not be the first one to ever make a discovery on the continent of Antarctica, but I think I may be the first one to ever find this. And I say that only because I've spent a lot of time to try to find anyone else who has searched not only the area I'm going to show you, but the entire mountain range as a whole. So this entire area is not only new to me, but I have found more than one object. We're going to focus on this one to start. All right, I'm going to do my best to set the scene for you here. We are at the top of a mountain, slightly off the peak, you can see. And some key things I want you to notice is our elevation. This mark that we're at right now is at 7,866 feet above sea level. Keep that in mind as we zoom into this area to discover something that looks like a man-made structure, specifically some sort of pyramid or entranceway into this mountain. And you can clearly see that the peak of it meets right where my mouse is now, clearly showing the shadow on the opposite side of where the sun is hitting it. Take a look at this perfect peak right here, this perfect triangle. And now that we're oriented here, I'm going to go ahead and turn the view a little bit, and we're going to take a snapshot, and we're going to do some simple contrast and lighting to bring out what we're looking at here, and you're not going to believe your eyes. Take a look at what this thing looks like when you add contrast and a little more lighting to bring it out of the shadows. You are looking at something that looks like a structure that was built or some sort of entrance into the side of this mountain. I'm going to measure this structure for you and all that fun stuff, but back here on Google Earth, I want to zoom up for you guys so you can get an idea of the landscape. There are no trees whatsoever along this mountain. It's a lot of rock and ice and snow, as most of Antarctica is said to be. But when you get to this area up here, and normally what would look like a normal peak or just a rock sticking up causing a shadow, this is way more prominent than anything else we see. In fact, I'll zoom out again just so you could see again the rim of this mountain, these mountains that meet together. We could see on the altitude, this would be the highest point of this mountain, and then we move our cursor down, and this brings us again to just over 7,850 feet. That is over a mile up. That is higher than Mile High Stadium, for example, in Denver. Again, we'll zoom into the area from up high, and now I'm going to go ahead and measure this stuff for you guys because this is very symmetrical, and it actually looks like there was a second structure right next to it that may have fallen down or broken over time. It's very hard to tell with the way the shadows are in this image. There is a setting that allows you to go back in time to look at different pictures of this same area, but unfortunately there's about 3 or 4 of them, and until the most recent one that we just saw, everything is very blurry and hidden, so there's nothing to see unless you were looking at this image right here, the most recent image, which was actually taken on December 6th, 2009. So now that we know where this structure is and all that, I'm going to bring us back to the image where we can bring the light out of it, and once again, here it is. I almost feel like my eyes are playing tricks on me, but we need to understand there are no trees around around this area. It's a desolate mountain range with snow and ice, which makes me wonder, what are these things? What are these tall poles or tall walls that are sticking up out of this mountain? It almost looks like an entrance that was built into the mountain, and then the edge of it sticks out, showing us just the dark entrance you would use to get inside. Or could we be looking at some sort of tower? I know in this image here on Google Earth it's very hard to see, but take a look at this. I'm going to measure these sides for you, and you're going to see that they are about 70 feet each. We'll get ourselves situated again and bring up our measuring tool. And what I'm going to do is just measure each side for you. We'll take a click right here, and I've already done this off screen, but we'll do it again together. So from the tip of the triangle or pyramid down to the ground, you can measure about 70 feet. And we'll do a quick measurement from the other point to the peak again, another 70 feet. We could be seeing a structure sticking up 70 feet into the air, which is why the sun is hitting the back of it and then presenting the shadow onto the snow. Or like we said before, it could be some sort of an awning type design that actually sticks out of the mountain, just showing the triangular entrance. And again, just to quickly show you the difference between the darkness and stuff you'll see on Google Earth, which is why this was so hard to see, compared to when you simply add contrast and light to it, you get this amazing looking structure, and this all begins to make sense. We know we are seeing something here. In my opinion, this is clearly something that was built, some sort of structure, and we are over 200 miles away from the nearest coastline. And now we're going to see something even more incredible than this. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out of this area to show you that we are only going 18 miles away to our next destination that as of now has never been discovered on the continent of Antarctica. But here we go, and once again, my friends, you're not going to believe your eyes as we are looking at an absolute perfect right angle corner of what looks like some sort of underground base, some sort of underground building, maybe another type of craft, but just look at this right angle sticking out of the side of this mountain, and it also looks like we have something sitting next to it. We're going to go ahead and look at this from all different angles, at least as many angles as we can with the terrain setting here on Google Earth. We can spin around it like this, but what I want to show you guys is that this is actually sticking out of the side of a mountain pointing downward. So it's important that we view this from different angles so you can see where we're coming from. So you can see this would be the top of this part of the mountain range, and then this would be sloping down, just to give yourself a little more reference of what we're looking at here. So we can zoom into this area, and as we get closer, it becomes very apparent that we're looking at the edge of some sort of craft, some sort of building that is underneath this snow and ice with perfect angles on it. As we always do here, I'm going to go ahead and measure this. We'll switch to feet so we have a good idea of what we're looking at here, and we're just going to measure from one point across to the end of the side that's sticking out, and we have about 135 feet right there. We're going to do another one. We'll start at the point again, and as I measure the other side, you're going to see we are very similar, if not exactly the same, 135 feet give or take. And then we've got what looks like the vertical support part of this building or craft that comes straight down from the point. It could end right there at about 50 feet, or it comes down to the pitch of the snow, which is 116 feet. Regardless, keep in mind, my friends, you are looking at something that does not happen in nature. If you were to just show me this picture without the mountain next to it, and it was just this right here, I would almost bet that we're looking at the corner of some sort of structure or some sort of aircraft, another pyramid shape on the continent of Antarctica. I swear there's pyramids all over this place. I have taken all sorts of screenshots of this area in order to bring out any sort of shadows or angles I can so we can actually see this better. And when you invert the picture, we really get some good detail here. We can see that sharp edge of whatever this is underneath the snow and ice, and then we can actually see the snow that has come over time and in a way sort of revealed this. So doesn't this look somewhat like something's parked right next to the corner of this building, almost like a type of driveway or just another version of what you would look at on Google Earth in a populated area? Once again, absolutely nothing about this seems natural. In fact, I've even noticed something that looks like a type of pipe that might be running on top of this flat plane. Again, think of it as like an awning. And now if we take both of these discoveries we've made that are 18 miles apart on a continent that is apparently massive, two different pyramid structures, one looking like it's buried, one looking like it's exposed. There is no coincidence about this, my friends. We are looking at intelligent designed structures on the continent of Antarctica, whether it's from the melting snow over time or just because these areas have not been seen yet. I believe we found somewhat of a honey hole or some sort of ancient civilization, dare I say. I know that may drive a lot of people away, say, but you gotta trust what you're looking at sometimes, and I see intelligent design in both of these structures. And one other thing I wanted to point out about this area as a whole, now keep in mind, we're looking at a section of Antarctica that is 77 miles long, and I don't know if you guys see this right now, but this entire 70-mile looking area looks like a giant created pyramid. Yes, I said the word again, another pyramid, just massive, that actually follows the line of the mountain range. Now, this may not be as prominent as what I just showed you, but just keep that in your mind and take a visual snapshot of what you're looking at. It looks like a pretty straightforward triangle with 70-mile walls on either side. And then everything we've been finding in this area has been within this mountain range, so none of this is a coincidence. At least that is my humble opinion. Of course, I want you guys to decide for yourselves what you think you're seeing here on a continent that apparently has no known civilizations living on it. We're kind of not allowed to even go there, so whether or not these things have been built recently or in the far, far past, what exactly are we dealing with here? And as more and more is revealed, what are going to be the repercussions? Your guess is as good as mine, my friends. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. As I said, there will be more released in the very near future. Questions or concerns, please leave down below. Shout out to Canada. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.